Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Aishwarya Parab and today I'm back with yet another video for you guys. Today's video is going to be on the bind polyfill. We have already covered call and apply in the previous video and I would highly recommend you to watch that video before proceeding with this video. I have linked that video in the description below. You can also check out the front end interview prep series and find that video in the series because it's very important. Some of the most important concepts that will be used in this video as well are explained in detail in that particular video. So I would highly recommend you to first check out that video and then proceed with the bind polyfill video. And remember that bind has no relationship with call and apply. Call and apply are similar to each other. Bind is a bit different, even though they fall in the same category, but bind is a bit different. Okay, don't get confused between these three. So talking about today's video, the outline is we will first see how bind function works in JavaScript and then we will build the polyfill of bind. Okay, so if you're interested, let's get started with today's video. So for bind, again, I will just go to the call file and I will copy this example. This is the example that we had for our call and apply video, and here we realize that if we just call this print function and if I pass how are you, okay, and if I pass the age, so if I pass the parameters of the function, we realized last time that this will give us undefined. Okay, I will still run this and show it to y'all. Oh, I need to log it, so I will have to log this, and here you can see we are getting undefined. We are not getting hi Aishwarya Parab, how are you? Okay, parameters we are getting. How are you? Are you 24 years old? Those are the parameters. That is something that we are getting, but we are getting undefined. Okay, so to fix this, we used call, we used apply. Today we will use bind. Okay, it does the same job. That's why it comes in that same basket. It comes in that same category, but bind works a bit differently as compared to call and apply. So there are two ways we can use this. Okay, there are two ways. We will check out the first way. The first way is to use bind over this particular function, and we will give the context, which is person. Actually, I'll remove this not to confuse you all. So remember one thing, bind function returns another function. Bind function returns another function which can be a reusable function. So I can just say const reusable person, reusable print name. Okay, reusable print name, and I will just say print name dot bind. The first parameter of bind will be the context. The context is person, right? This keyword inside the print name function should point to the person object. So this is the context. Okay, and the other parameters can be the arguments. Okay, here I can just pass question, which is how are you. This is the first argument which the function is accepting, right? And the second argument which the function is accepting is 24. So now my bind function has given me a reusable print name function which I can use anywhere. So if I console.log reusable print name, and reusable print name is a function, so I can call this function, then this will be returned and this will be printed. Okay, this entire line will be returned and it will be printed. I will show it to y'all in action. Okay, now we got Aishwarya Parab. Now we got hi Aishwarya Parab. We didn't get undefined. Okay, so this is one way how bind works. One way how bind works. So I will just say first way, and the second way how it works is I will copy the same thing. Let's name it reusable print name 2, and we will log this as well. And what we will do is the first time when we are binding something now, we will not pass the parameters. We will just pass the context. Okay, the first time we will only pass the context, no parameters. And now while logging, when I'm calling the reusable function, I will pass the parameters here. Okay, I will pass the parameters now. While calling the reusable function, I will pass the parameters like how we call a normal function. So let's see if this works. Okay, both the times I'm getting the same output, which means bind can work in two different ways. First way, you only take one, you take the context, which is person, and you also take the parameters associated with your function, and then you just call the function. The second way is you only take the context. You don't pass your parameters, but while you are calling your reusable function, that time you are passing all your parameters. Okay, so I hope that this is understood. This is regarding your bind polyfill. So now that we know how your bind works, how your bind function works, we can get started with the implementation of bind polyfill. And since we have already done call and apply, I think this implementation will be simpler, even though both of them are sort of same. There's nothing like extraordinary about both of them, but I think this will be simpler, right? This will be simpler as compared to the others. So what we will do is we will start asking a normal questions. First thing is, what is the type of the polyfill? What is the type of your polyfill? Function. It's a function, right? Bind is a function. Next, on which prototype is your polyfill called? Okay, on which prototype is the polyfill bind being called? So if we check here, print name is a function, so we need to change the function prototype. Okay, so function prototype. Next thing, what is your polyfill returning? Okay, what is your polyfill exactly returning? In this case, we know that it is returning another function. Okay, this is a good revelation. This is a good revelation that it is not returning any statement, it is not returning any result, it is returning another function. So I think with this we can build the skeleton of our bind polyfill. So what we will do is we will just say function dot prototype dot my bind. Bind is a function, right? And what will it return? It will return another function. It is returning another function. So this is the skeleton. This is why we ask these questions, so that structures like these are also simpler to understand. Okay, simpler for your brain to understand. So now we are returning another function. Okay, cool, this is fine. Now the next question to ask yourself is, what are the parameters? What are the parameters accepted by your polyfill? Which parameters are accepted by your polyfill? In this case, right now, let's only concentrate on this case, on the first way. Okay, let's not confuse ourselves with the second one. So what is your function accepting? In this case, it is accepting the object, which is the context, and it's accepting the parameters. Now we don't know how many parameters we have, that's why we are using the rest operator. Okay, so I hope that this is clear why we are using the rest operator, because right now we are taking two parameters. In the future we can have 3, 4, 5 parameters. We don't know how many parameters our function will take. That's why we are just using the rest parameter. Okay, so I will do the same thing. In our previous video we have seen that the convention is using the this arg. Okay, I could have used object also here. I could have used object also, but just by convention we follow this, that we use this arg. Okay, to context we call this arg. Any context that we provide to a function, right, we call it this arg. So I'm just using it right at the start. You can follow the call and apply polyfill video in order to understand this better, but right at the start I'm using this arg instead of using obj. Okay, then I'm using args, of course. Now comes the tricky part. So now I've used this and I know that my bind function will return a function. Okay, and ultimately, like, this is the function which is then called, right? I'm returning this, and then further this is called, and here I will have to return the result. There is some result, right? That result will be returned here. In our last video also we returned a result, so I know that here I need to return the result of the function. Which result I have to return? The result of the function, right? Ultimately what am I getting? I'm getting the result of the function, this. So this needs to be returned here inside this function, inside this closure. Okay, so first thing is I need access to my original object. Why? Okay, again, this was explained in the last video, so just concentrate here. I have my person object. Okay, in this particular function I didn't have access to the person object. My this keyword didn't have access to the person object. That's why it couldn't print Aishwarya and Parab. Instead, it printed undefined, undefined. If the this keyword has access to the person object, or if the this keyword is pointing to the person object, then it will print the two values correctly. Right? One way to do that is to put the function inside the person object. Something like this. Print name, and I will put this entire thing, I will put this entire thing inside the person object. And now if I just say person.print name, then I will get this entire result. Okay, if I just say person.print name, I will get the result. Why? Because in JavaScript, whenever we call a function, right, whenever we call a function here on top of any entity, and if inside this function if I'm using this, then this will be pointing to this entity. This is how JavaScript works. So yeah, this is the logic. Now what we will do is, for this to work, we will make sure that our function is attached to our context. A function is attached to the object that we are passing. So how to do this? Okay, so we can say let context. Okay, first of all I need access to the original function. So do I have access to the original function? Yes, I have access to the original function. How do I have it? Using this. Okay, this is pointing to the original function basically. Okay, I have access to the original function, and context will be nothing but this arg. For now I will just say this arg. I will tell you why I used context, but remember, original function is nothing but the this keyword. Okay, this print name is my original function. If in my bind function I'm using the this keyword, then this will be pointing to the print name function, and this arg is your parameter here, and it is currently context. In this particular object I'll attach a function. Okay, I'll attach a function fn. We will just call it fn, you can call it anything, and this function is going to be my original function. This function is going to be my original function. So in your object, in your person object, it will look like this: fn colon print name, and that entire print name function here. Okay, so it is as if like the person object got a new function with the property of fn and the value of print name. So if you run this function now, if you run context.fn, you will get the same result, because now context has access to that particular function. Context has access to our original function. Okay, so we will run it, and we will store the result in a result variable. So context.fn. Okay, and of course we need to pass the parameters. We have the parameters here. Okay, we have the parameters. We will get the result, and I will return the result. I think this should work. Original function, I'm passing this. Oh, this should be original function. Sorry, my bad. So context.fn, it should be original function. I was just passing this, and I'll tell you why we are using this outside the function. Okay, I'll tell you why this line is outside this function and not inside this function. But before that, we will run this and we will check if it works fine. Okay, so I will just say, where is my console? I will bring this here. Now instead of bind, no, we will say my bind. This also we will keep it as my bind. For now we will comment this. We are only checking the first case. Okay, and yes, it works fine. That means our polyfill is working fine. Our my bind polyfill is working fine. We will check for other things now. Okay, don't worry, we will check for other things. The first question that you may have is, what if I had these lines, these two lines here? Will it work? Ask yourself. Will it work? If yes, why will it work? If no, why will it not work? Answer those questions as well. Okay, for now I will run this. It will not work. It will not work. Okay? Question is why, answer you find out. I'll tell you, wait. Okay? It will not work. The simple reason is because, now see, you're inside this function, right? Which function is that? This is the bind function. Inside the bind function, your this keyword is pointing to your original function. Here, inside the bind function, if you use this keyword, it is pointing to your original function. But if you put this line, forget about that context line, this is not doing anything. Okay, but if you put this line here, if you put this line here, then now this is now attached to this function. This keyword is now a part of this function, the internal function. It is not a part of your outer function. And the internal functions, this keyword doesn't have access to the original function. Okay, the internal functions, this keyword doesn't have access to the original function. So you have to do this outside. I hope this is understood. You have to do this outside. You can't put that line inside. Okay, so this is one thing. Apart from that, the second question that you may have is, why did I use a separate variable called context? I could have directly used this arg everywhere, right? It's because what if this arg is not provided? In this case, we are passing this as person. What if it is not provided? What if it is null or undefined? In that case, I will have to say, if it is there, then you keep it. Otherwise, you point it to the global this object. Otherwise, if your context is only null or undefined, you directly point it to the global this object. Okay, we can write this with a shorthand property by just saying this. Okay, this also means the same thing. Now, anything else that I've left incomplete? Oh yeah, the second way. This is the second way, right? So this is the first way that we did, wherein we accepted all the parameters right here. But we also know that while running the function, see, this is the ultimate function that is being returned. Okay, to give you context, this is the reusable function. This is the reusable print name function. And we know here that the reusable print name function also accepts parameters. So this function should be able to take parameters, right? So I can just say other parameters or next args. I'll just say I can call this anything. Okay, so I'll just say next args. Next args, because I know that this reusable print name function should also be able to accept parameters. So it is accepting the parameters, and while calling the function, I will spread those parameters as well. Okay, so with this, both of these cases should work. Both these cases should work. Let's see if they work. Okay, yeah, both of them are working. We can try another thing also. I will just try that. I will pass 24 here. So see what I have done. Okay, I have only passed one parameter here, and the other parameter I have passed in the reusable print name function. Even this should work. Working. Okay, this is working. Why it is working? Because we are using the rest operator. Okay, I hope that this is clear. I will put it here. Yeah, I hope that this is clear. But yeah, as you know, this code is brilliant. It's awesome for entry level engineers or for engineers who have like 1 or 2 years of experience. But above that, 3 years and plus experience, you need to put some validations in place. Simple validations, nothing complex. The first thing is you have to figure out that you are in fact calling your bind function on a function. You have to make sure that your original function is actually a function, because if this is not a function, then you shouldn't continue, right? Your bind polyfill will not work on anything except a function, because you are changing the function prototype. So first thing that you need to check is the type of your original function. So if type of this, because this has access to the original function, right? So if type of this is not equal to function, then you throw an error immediately. You throw a type error saying that this is not callable. Okay, this is not callable. Anything else? I don't need to test args. I don't need to test this. I think this is the only validation that you need to put in place. Oh, one more thing that you need to do is if you check here, you're adding something, you're adding a property to your context, which means you're trying to modify your input. And you might have done some DSA problems, you might have done some other problems as well. You know that input should never be modified. Any input which is given to you, it shouldn't be modified, right? In this case also, we shouldn't modify the input. Correct, we shouldn't modify the input. And if we have modified it, we have to go back to the same thing. So what we will do here is, just before returning the result, we will delete context.fn. That's it. Okay, this is one step that we are taking, so that we are sure that our input is not modified. Okay, I will run it the final time to see if everything is working fine, and it is. Both the ways are working fine, and that's all for the bind polyfill video. If you learned anything new in this video, if you liked this video, if you liked the way it was taught, if some of your crucial doubts were clear, then please make sure that you like this particular video, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know in the comments how it was, if you didn't understand anything, if something was too fast, if something was too slow, if something was skipped. Okay, you can help other people as well, not just me, help other people as well in the comment section below. So do all of these activities. Okay, like, share, subscribe, all of that, comments and everything. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.